motherfucker, I will massacre you. I will fuck you up.
Pushing back the death date is the only realistic way to make sure that when the machine is turned on, that we will all be atomized.
The Omega-12 Project, originally presented by Little Congress in 2119 as a sweet solution to the problem of continual life on our wretched planet, was met originally with widespread popular approval. But today, citizens are expressing their frustration at Onion News Network feedback zones all over the place.
It's frustrating. Every day the government keeps saying, we're all going to die, we're all going to die, and then it not happens. If I could remove my obedience chip, I'd just kill myself.
I didn't care about the cost because I thought we'd all be dead. But now we're paying $1 million a week for this project and we're still alive. This is why I don't pay to vote.
I'm a little better off because at least I have this baby to sell. But I still want the world gone.
The NYPD says some of the other most common crimes they're seeing right now involve commercial burglaries. Many of them businesses shuttered because of the pandemic.
Restaurants, some retail establishments, some public buildings when it comes to businesses. So we have a plan in place. We're focusing on prevention.
As seen in these surveillance videos, thieves seem to be after everything from Popeye's uniforms to money from safes.
They just arrested 3 perpetrators in Queens, which we've tied to many commercial burglaries that went over to the Brooklyn side.
Even with less officers working due to the outbreak, the department says it's still making arrests.
Welcome to Ohio Survival News. This is Casey O'Brien, broadcasting from Springfield, Ohio. Today is Tuesday, April 7th. The time is 5 till 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I did have a video that I was going to put up last week, and it was a long one. A good amount of it was about the news, but a good amount of it too was me kind of ranting, giving my opinion on everything. In the process of editing that, I fucked up big time, technically. I can fix it, it's just going to take me even longer, so that's a video from April 2nd. Expect to see that up at some point, but it's going to be late, obviously. As usual, we're going to start off with the cases confirmed here in Ohio. This was last updated yesterday at 2 p.m. Ohio now has 4,450 cases, 1,214 hospitalizations. 371 of those are in intensive care units. There have been 142 deaths. The age range is less than 1 year old to 101 years old. Median age is 54. 48% are males. 52% are females. And most places what you're seeing is this disproportionately affect males. So it is kind of interesting that even though it's pretty close, pretty on point, you're seeing it affect more females percentage-wise. Though females are also more of the population, so that might be proportional. Now, on the video that I did not get to upload because I messed up on some technical aspect of it, I did say that I'm not going to go over county by county numbers just because it takes too long. So I'm going to put up a graphic, and it's going to show the whole state with each county and all the numbers in those counties. Now, the news that I want to lead with, my mom, her best friend, her daughter, works at Greene County Memorial Hospital. That's in Xenia, Ohio. And she just got laid off. And she said they're closing the hospital. I haven't seen anything on the news about this. The only thing I am finding on the news, this is from the Xenia Gazette, and this is from March 9th. So almost a month ago. It says, county questioning levy after Greene Memorial's ICU closure. Greene County commissioners are concerned after the intensive care unit at Greene Memorial Hospital closed unexpectedly last month. Greene Memorial Hospital President Rick Dodds said the unit closed February 13th when an intensivist group that covered the ICU left the hospital. As it stands, if a patient at Greene Memorial needs ICU services, he or she will be transported to Soyan Medical Center, also part of Kettering Health Network in Beaver Creek. And I believe that's I think it's 12 miles away. This is insanity. And I went over it in my last video that I didn't get uploaded yet. But Maryland, they are increasing statewide all their premiums. And I'm sure this is going on at other hospitals too. They are definitely putting profits ahead of people right now. And this is pissing me off. Now, I'm not some burnout. I'm not some fucking Bernie bro. I'm not down with, free, socialized, nationalized healthcare. I don't support that. I used to. When I was more liberal, I did. I did a 180 on nationalized healthcare when in Britain you had Charlie Gard and Alfie Evans forced to die by the state, even though, they had really rare, extreme conditions, and there were, costly experimental procedures that could be done to help save them. People came forward and put that money up out of pocket. And it wasn't going to be out of pocket for the taxpayers in Britain. Yet the NHS over in Britain forced those children to die. They wouldn't even let them leave. One of those children was given, I believe it was Italian citizenship, so that child could go to Italy and get the medical care that they were going to pay for out of pocket. And Britain wouldn't allow them to. I mean, I'm against nationalized healthcare. But what we have, the system we have isn't right. The system we have is totally fucked up. Nationalizing it isn't the answer. What we need strong checks and balances on price gouging within the hospital system, also within the pharmaceutical industry. I like the idea of, keeping it private, but really reining these assholes in. Because there's no reason that they should be closing hospitals and shit right now. And, it doesn't pay them. It's not economical for them to plan for pandemics and plan for these huge surges. So they don't do that. There's no incentive for them to. There's no incentive for them to stockpile masks and nitrile gloves and all this other PPE and stuff. And we're seeing where that leads us. And I think, the federal government needs to step in, not take over the healthcare system, but lay down some tight ground rules where they can't be doing this bullshit. And when it comes to Greene Memorial Hospital closing, call Governor DeWine. Call his office. Don't worry too much about your local representatives and shit. It might be good to get the word out to them and everything, but, Governor DeWine, he has this state of emergency. He has special powers now. So if anyone can force this fucking hospital to stay open, it's him. Call his office. Tell them you're fucking pissed off about Greene Memorial Hospital and Xenia closing, and this is not the time to be closing hospitals. It's bullshit. Call Greene Memorial Hospital. Ask for Rick Dodd's office. He's the president of the hospital. Let him know how unhappy you are that they're closing. The CEO of Kettering Health Network, his name is Fred Manchur. Manchur. Call him. Call his office. I don't know where he fucking works, but fucking call these assholes at Kettering Health Network. Tell them how fucking unhappy you are. They're closing this hospital. They're laying people off. They closed the ICU there. And they closed it because of a fucking levy didn't pass? Hello, I thought we had a private healthcare system. Why the fuck do we need to pass levies and subsidize this shit? It's just the same thing as us subsidizing Paul Brown Stadium or any of these other fucking arenas and shit. It's either private or it's public. Don't fucking tell us how great this private system is that we have and then fucking take our money at every chance you can And when we don't give you our money, you punish us by taking it away. That's bullshit. Now, I'm stocked up on food, toilet paper, everything I need, I got here at my house. And I've only been leaving my house to go to work and to go to my parents and see them. That's been it. With that being said, I'm not trying to like go out and get carry-out orders at restaurants and stuff. But I did do that yesterday. I was fucking craving a hamburger. I haven't had a fucking hamburger in like months. It's been a fucking long ass time. So I went out to Frisch's, went through their drive-thru, Frisch's Big Boy, and they had this sign on their speaker, the drive-thru. So this is the point where we're at. You have fucking fast food selling people toilet paper and essentially groceries. They're just selling them, their stuff wholesale. I mean, that's sad. And it's going to get worse, trust me. Now, with Ohio Survival News being based here in Springfield, Ohio, which is in Clark County, we do like to, focus on Clark County here. This is from the Springfield News-Sun. Almost all new Clark County cases attributed to community spread. This is from 16 hours ago. Nearly all of Clark County's most recent positive COVID-19 cases were contracted through community spread, according to Clark County Combined Health District. As of Monday, there were 10 confirmed cases of coronavirus in the county, with 3 cases confirmed in the last 3 days, according to Combined Health District. Of those cases, just one of the patients was a known contact of another positive coronavirus patient. The 3 new cases are 2 males and 1 female who are all in their 50s, according to Combined Health District's website. None of the patients were hospitalized at the time of their test confirmation. The first case in Clark County was reported on March 18th. Blah, blah, blah. The Combined Health District is unable to say where each patient is from specifically in order to protect the patient's identity. I think that's bullshit. I mean, they don't need to say who it is, but like they need to be saying where these people are from, like where they've been to, like the days, weeks up until they were tested positive. I mean, this is what South Korea and Taiwan have been doing, and they've had a handle on this. And I mean, fuck, there's like, 140,000 people maybe in Clark County. So to say that, if we say where they were from, that's going to give it away. That's bullshit. And normally, I support HIPAA laws and shit, but this is taking it to an extreme where we're shooting ourselves in the foot with this shit. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Going over these local news websites and seeing what's going on, crime is not taking a break from this. I think crime's getting worse. Just looking at the Springfield News website, here's one headline. Springfield Police Fire Investigate Apartment Vehicle Fires as Arson. Been a lot of fucking arson going on here in Springfield. Here's one. Dayton Convention Center could treat virus patients during surge. One of the last things I did out in public, and this was after I was sounding the alarm to my parents and everyone else, was my parents and I, we got to go to the Dayton Convention Center and see the Dayton Auto Show. And it was funny. I was just thinking the other day, like, I'm sure they're going to turn that into a hospital, and here, that's what they're doing. Another headline. Police investigate 2 theft incidents at Springfield home storage unit. Gun. Another headline. Gun. Electronics reported stolen in Springfield apartment burglary. And there were some other crime ones too. There's a fatal fire on Chestnut Street. Who knows if that's arson or not. There's just a lot. I'm just within the local news here in Springfield, Ohio. I'm seeing a lot of home break-ins, a lot of thefts, burglaries. And then, I pulled up the Clark County Municipal Court cases. Normally, like, before Corona Apocalypse, my mom gets the paper, I'd stop there after work, And I might not look at anything else in the paper, but the two things I always look at are obituaries and the municipal court cases. And in today's municipal court cases, there are only 2 cases called. 2. One of them is drug abuse, a 29-year-old. That's all it is for that. I'm assuming he probably just fucking going apeshit crazy. And they probably didn't even want to arrest him, but they kind of had to at that point. They probably wanted to like pink slip him once he got to the hospital or something, and that helps if there's a drug charge or something. I don't know. So you have that, the drug abuse charge, and then the only other person that got arrested was for felonious assault, 56-year-old. 2 cases in Clark County Municipal Court. I have never, ever, and I've been looking at these, like these are my favorite things to look at. I'll see shit that looks interesting, I'll pull it up, read the police report and all this shit. I've been doing this shit for fucking years, probably over a decade. And I've never, in my life, not on fucking holidays or anything, seen just 2 fucking cases. I mean, I don't know what the smallest amount I ever saw was. Maybe like 9 or something, or 10. Not fucking 2, not fucking 3, 4, 5, 6. Fucking 2. What that's telling you, in case you haven't gotten it through your fucking head yet, is that cops are not trying to go out and interact with people. They're not trying to arrest them. They're not trying to pull them over. I mean, where I work, it's like 30 miles from where I live. And, a lot of times I'll take the highway to get there. And it used to be every single night and morning when I was coming back from work, I would see like 3, 4, 5 cops on the highway, just posted up, trying to get speeders or whatever. In the last like 3 or 4 weeks, I've seen, I'd say 3 cops on the highway total. That's how many I would see in one night. And since this lockdown's happened, it's now, I might see 1 a week. And I was running a little bit late to work last night, so I was speeding. I speed as it is. I just like speeding. I think it's stupid to not speed unless you're an idiot driver. But I was speeding, and I did like 80 past an Ohio State Patrol officer, and he didn't do a damn thing. He didn't pull out. He didn't go after me. Now there was one time I was coming back from Detroit, and I was in I-75 South, going through Toledo, and at that time, at that place, the speed limit was really low on the highway there. It was like 55. And I was doing like probably 75. And normally I'm really good at seeing cops ahead of me posted trying to get speeders, and for whatever reason I didn't see a state trooper this time. And I ended up doing like 75, and I was doing like 20 over the speed limit going through Toledo on I-75. And that I got really lucky. The state trooper, he flashed his lights at me, flashed his searchlight right on my car. I think he might have turned on his cherries too, but he never pulled out or anything. I think he saw that as soon as I saw that he saw me, I slowed down. But to be going over the speed limit like I was last night, right in front of a cop, state trooper at that, and for him not to even shine his light on me or anything like that, I should be telling you that they are going as hands off as they can right now. Speaking of cops, Greene County, and they don't have too many cases. I think they might still have less cases than Clark County, which is surprising. But this is from WHIO. Greene County deputy hospitalized after testing positive for COVID-19. A Greene County Sheriff's Office road deputy has been hospitalized after testing positive for COVID-19, according to Sheriff Gene Fisher. Quote, we had him sent home a couple of weeks ago with symptoms, and we now know he has tested positive for COVID-19, Fisher said. He is currently in the hospital seeking treatment, and we're saying prayers for him and his family. And it goes on to say how they've been really testing a lot with like their employees that work in the jail and stuff. This is a road deputy. What I found interesting was the quote from the sheriff. Quote, we had him sent home a couple of weeks ago with symptoms. So either he had symptoms, they sent him home, and then they waited a week or two to get him tested, and it was like, oh, he's got it. What I think happened was they sent him home, he got tested, and it took them like 1 or 2 weeks to get the fucking test results back. Because Governor DeWine was talking about that last week, where he's saying, hey, these private labs are taking way too fucking long. I saw an interview with some lady in Ohio, like, it's been, I think, she got tested like 13 days ago, and she still hasn't gotten her results back. So, we're still way behind on testing. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying with the other article. I was saying how like 9 out of 10 of the cases in Clark County are community spread cases, which means, someone else had it and coughed on a doorknob or some shit. And then someone came along, touched that doorknob, rubbed their eyes, and they got it. So that means this shit's just spreading out in the wild. And we don't have a handle on it. We don't have a handle on testing. We don't have a handle on tracking. So, yeah, we're at like 4,000 something cases right now, but those are confirmed. And, I want to know how many people have been tested and they're waiting to get their results back. It's probably a magnitude of, I'd say, 4 times higher than that 4,000 number at least. I mean, it could be tens of thousands of people here in Ohio that are waiting to get their test results back. And how many of those people do you think are really, they're going to be quarantining, they're going to be staying home during this whole time? How many of those people are going to be saying, oh, they tested me for coronavirus, but, I probably don't have it, so I'm still going to go to work. I can't afford to not go to work. I mean, my wife's job was non-essential. They got shut down. We need the income. Or, their families, someone gets tested and they're waiting fucking 2 weeks to get the test results back. Even if they are quarantining, I mean, they're in a house with, potentially their spouse, their children, their parents, whoever. Do you think those people are all going to be quarantining too, along with that person? I doubt it. I bet, most of these people waiting for these tests, I think the people that are actually taking it seriously and staying home by themselves and actually quarantining themselves, I hate to say it, but I think they're probably the exception. Oh, man. In economic news, and I've reported on this twice now, Honda extends production halt at Ohio auto plants. Production suspension will be extended through May 1st at all Honda plants in North America, including Ohio. I mean, this is horrible. Now, I understand, like, these car companies shutting down because there's not going to be, like, a market for new cars. I mean, I'm sure there still is right now, but that's going to dry up real soon because, one, people aren't going to be having the incomes that they had before or the job security. And, they're going to be worried about all these other things going on right now. Whereas, maybe getting a new car this summer would have been on their priority list. Now it's not. And then on top of that, I don't know if it's happened yet or not, but I'm sure it will if it hasn't already. You're looking at a huge credit crunch. You're not going to be able to finance a new car here soon. I mean, some people will, but like that, not anywhere close to the rates that we were at before. you're going to see a huge uptick in the price of a quality used car. It's going to be a lot like, people that are old enough and remember cash for clunkers under Obama. I wasn't in the market for a used car then, but I'm a car guy. I love getting on Auto Trader and just seeing the cars that I like. A lot of them are older. What are the prices going for and stuff. And I remember after Cash for Clunkers, there was a huge increase in the price of used cars. And that's because Cash for Clunkers took, the bottom scrap, that bottom level off the market permanently. And you're going to see car prices go up quite a bit. And then, just all these people that work at Honda and all these people that work at these companies that supply Honda. Like I mentioned Stanley before. They're huge. Thousands of employees. Their main client's Honda. They've been shut down this whole time, and I'm sure they're going to extend it to whenever Honda opens back up. So this really, really, really hurts a lot of people. Not just the people that work at Honda, but all these other companies that supply them with parts. And there's so many here in the area. Now, you're seeing, I did see like a factory tour of Tesla and Ford, of how they're making ventilators now and all this stuff, and GM is too. It'd probably be a good idea if Honda started doing that shit too. And, I understand it's a Japanese company and they have their own American company here in America. So, there's some geopolitics involved with that, but like, Japan just declared a state of emergency. They're finally realizing, like, oh shit, we've been just trying to ignore this shit out of existence, and it's not working. We're about to get bit in the ass hard. So, ideally, ventilators that are made here in the U.S. should support the people here in the U.S. that need them. But at the very least, companies like Honda and stuff start making ventilators now. Even if those are getting exported to Japan because you're a Japanese company, I get it. Fucking do that. Keep these people in work. And that's work that you can feel fucking proud of. You're making PPE, you're making ventilators, you're making medical equipment. Like I go to work because I'm considered essential, but what I do is not essential. And I'm making shit. I'm making fucking conveyor belts and shit, like for Amazon. And, every day I go to work, I'm like, man, I'm putting my life on the line so Jeff Bezos can have his fucking conveyor belts. And, I would still be thinking, if my factory was making gloves and masks or ventilators or whatever, I would still be thinking every day, I'm putting my life on the line to go to work and make this shit. But if we were making stuff that mattered, I wouldn't be stressed. I would feel proud. I would be really, really proud to go to work and be able to say, yeah, I'm going to work making ventilators and medical supplies and PPE and all this stuff. I would feel so proud of that. From WBNS, which is in Columbus, and I just want to say they are at least judging by their website, like they suck as a fucking local news agency, and they're CBS affiliates. But I'm on their main page right now, and it's like just a bunch of fucking bullshit. A lot of shit trying to politicize this, and then they got fucking barely any articles that would be of use if you're in Columbus. But they do have highlighted, Oprah Winfrey chooses Hidden Valley Road for book club. Thank you, WBNS. But this article, it is from WBNS, even though it's like from New York City, or New York. and this is from April 1st, but I wanted to highlight this. This guy gets scumbag of the fucking week, and when I read shit like this, it makes me wish that we took maybe the Kim Jong-un approach to these motherfuckers. But the headline is, New York man hid coronavirus symptoms to visit wife in maternity ward. A New York man hid his coronavirus symptoms from the hospital so he could visit his wife in a maternity ward. University of Rochester Medical Center officials said on Tuesday that they found out about it after the woman displayed symptoms of COVID-19. According to hospital officials, medical staff learned the man was exposed to the novel coronavirus and was symptomatic after his wife fell ill while at Strong Memorial Hospital in Rochester. Following the incident last week, the patient and staff who were in contact were informed about possible exposure. So this motherfucker got his wife infected, probably got his newborn baby infected, very well got hospital staff infected, maybe got other fucking moms and dads and families and babies infected too. I would love to know his name. I mean, it doesn't give his name. I'm just kind of curious, like, is this guy, is he an American? Is he like some fresh off the boat motherfucker from some fucking like failed third world country that doesn't understand anything medical at all? I mean, that would kind of make me feel better, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, this is just fucking horrible. And what's going to happen to him? Probably fucking nothing. He'll probably get some fucking fine because they're not trying to put anyone in jail, especially someone with coronavirus. But this motherfucker, man, fucking beat the shit out of him. Do some fucking... Let's do what they do in Singapore, you know, like the fucking bamboo, like, sugarcane sticks or whatever the fuck. And they just fucking lash the shit out of people, like their backs, until their fucking skin falls off in a bloody gelatin mess. Same shit they do in fucking, like, Saudi Arabia and stuff. Let's bring, you know, we're trying to keep people out of the prisons, right? And I get that. But in absence of that, we need something else. So let's do that. And let's make this guy the fucking first guy that gets it. Complete fucking piece of shit. Complete fucking piece of shit. So Ohio, we did expand our stay-at-home order. These went into effect yesterday on Monday. Essential businesses are now being told to determine and enforce a maximum number of customers allowed in a store at one time, and to ensure that people waiting outside are maintaining safe social distancing. Travelers arriving in Ohio are being asked to self-quarantine for 14 days, except for those who live and work in trans-border areas, so like, you know, like Cincinnati, maybe you work in Northern Kentucky or some shit. Healthcare and public health and safety workers, transportation workers, and certain essential workers. Updates to the order include the creation of a dispute resolution process for situations where two local health departments have come to a different conclusion on what is or is not an essential business. The requirement that essential businesses determine and enforce a maximum number of customers. We went over that. Went over this. The mandate that wedding receptions be limited to no more than 10 people. A clarification to close campgrounds with the exception where a camper or recreational vehicle in a campground serves as a citizen's permanent residence and they are unable to secure safe alternative housing. The requirement that public swimming pools and swimming pools at private clubs or housing complexes close. This does not apply to private residential pools. So, if you have a pool, I don't know how you're going to fucking take advantage of that, but I mean, you can personally. Maybe you can charge your fucking neighbors to swim in it and shit, but you better not get caught. The prohibition of organized youth and adult sports. Kids are going to be turning back to the organized sport of organized crime. In national news, now this was last week on April 1st, and I didn't really see any news agencies really talk about it, but I don't know what to make of this. But I find it very interesting nonetheless. This is from The Hill. It says, Trump announces enhanced counter-narcotics operation at coronavirus briefing. Trump administration officials announced Wednesday that the U.S. military would send naval ships and aircraft to the Caribbean as part of an enhanced counter-narcotics operation. President Trump and other top officials discussed the operation at the top of a White House coronavirus briefing Wednesday evening. Trump said it was important not to let drug cartels, quote, exploit the pandemic to threaten American lives. So again, I don't really know what the fuck to make of that. I just thought it was very interesting. And also, this is international news, but I'll put a link in it if it's not deleted already. But what's been going on in Ecuador is horrific. You can find videos even on YouTube of, I mean, they're just burning bodies in the middle of the street in Ecuador. Guayaquil. I know Spanish. I should be able to pronounce that, but I can't. I think it might be an indigenous word, but it's a port city, 2.8 million people, and I mean they're just getting ravaged by this. I mean, you thought what you saw from coming from China was bad. Wait till you see what's going on in Guayaquil in Ecuador. I mean, it is horrific. They're burning bodies in the street because ambulances aren't picking people up anymore. Funeral services aren't picking people up anymore. There's like a picture of this truck. I guess it's for a funeral home. They have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 caskets, and they're all wrapped in like plastic on the back of this fucking pickup truck. The video I saw, like, I mean, it shows Ecuadorians literally just dropping dead, broad daylight in the middle of the fucking street from this shit, and shows inside the hospital. I mean, there are just dozens and dozens and dozens of body bags, and if you watch it, they're not like going over the same spots. Like, look at the little parts of the wall and stuff. You can see they're going to different rooms. In every fucking room, storage closet, hallway, there's just body bags full of dead people. And what I thought was the craziest thing in that video, and like I said, I'll link it, but it might be deleted. It shows this hospital in Ecuador, and it's daylight. You can see like probably like 50 or more vultures, buzzards fucking circling the hospital. I have never in my life, I've seen vultures circle dead prey and stuff. I've seen it over the woods. I've seen it off of the highways and shit. I have never in my life, I don't think anyone has, seen vultures circle around a fucking building, a hospital at that. And then it shows the parking lot of the hospital, and there's like dead bodies in the back of pickup trucks and shit. I mean, what's going on in Ecuador is the worst stuff I've seen from anywhere, and it is just pure hell. And it's very sad. Going back to national news, this is from the Daily Mail. Law and order fears for NYC as nearly 10,000 NYPD and FDNY members call out sick amid a rise in burglaries. And I put a video in, I don't know if I'm going to put it at the beginning, so maybe you already saw it, or I'm going to put it at the end, but of local news in New York City. And the segment was on, the uptick in crime against Asians in New York City, but then they just kind of shoehorn near the end of it how all these businesses are getting broken into and stuff. Looting is here. I mean, you can find videos of mass looting of stores in France, in the United Kingdom. It's here. The media might not be reporting on it, or if they are, they're trying to be sly about it. They're reporting about it when they report about like hate crimes or whatever. But like, looting's here. Might not be in your city yet, but in the big cities, it's here. And I've seen people, from Seattle post things online, and they're just saying it's like Wild West in Seattle right now. I don't know anyone in Seattle personally, so maybe if you're from Seattle or you have people, family or whatever that lives there, and you can shed some light on it, please post it in the comments, email it to me. But what I'm seeing from online, people that say they're from Seattle, they're saying it is just fucking insanity over there right now. And I did see a news article or a news clip where their cops just aren't responding to burglaries or assaults in Seattle. But their police chief came out. There's a black woman. She came out and said, call 911 if you hear racist, hateful language. So this is their fucking priority right now. I mean, what the fuck? Jesus. In international news, this is from South China Morning Post, which I believe is in Hong Kong. They're pretty sure they're not mainland China. But it says, Indonesia warned to be on guard for anti-Chinese terrorism amid pandemic. Islamic State affiliates are using the coronavirus to stoke existing anti-Chinese sentiments within Indonesia, a Jakarta-based think tank cautioned. It said there have been calls for attacks to be carried out because the country's government is seen as being weakened by the pandemic. Islamic State affiliates in Indonesia have ramped up their anti-Chinese rhetoric on social media amid the global coronavirus pandemic. Blah, blah, blah. In its latest report released last week, the Institute for Policy Analysis of Conflict pointed to a previously undisclosed plot to attack Chinese workers in Banten, West Java, that was, quote, discussed last year by an ISIS supporter who stabbed and seriously wounded former Chief Security Minister Wiranto, the most senior government official to be attacked by the terror group. Basically, Islamic State, I mean, they don't like anyone. You know, they attacked all their Muslim neighbors back when they were in Syria and Iraq. The only people they didn't attack was Israel. That was so fucking weird, isn't it? But, they don't like China either. And you have, like, the Uyghurs in China, who are, you know, like, I think they're Western China. I want to say Northwestern China. But a lot of them look like, you know, as a Westerner, what you'd say, oh, that's a Chinese person or an Oriental or whatever. A lot of them look like Chinese. But they're not really Chinese, not culturally. They're Muslim. They've been Muslim for a long time. And, you know, the Chinese, they've been putting them into concentration camps. They've been doing horrible things to them. They've been harvesting their organs, killing them. You know, all sorts of bad shit to the Uyghurs. And so I guess Islamic State fucking hates China because of that. And it was talking about how they, you know, there was this discussion of attacking Chinese national workers that were working in Indonesia, attacking them like a year ago. But now they're saying, hey, like, these social media accounts of Islamic State people, they're ramping up their xenophobic, anti-Chinese rhetoric. And so they're saying, like, hey, watch out, like, they're probably going to be attacking Chinese citizens or, you know, maybe Chinese government facilities that, you know, are outside of China, stuff like that. So, and then finally, in sports news, AP sources, MLB union discussed playing all games in Arizona. Putting all 30 teams in the Phoenix area this season and playing in empty ballparks was among the ideas discussed Monday by Major League Baseball and the Players Association. I mean, you know, if baseball wants to have a season, they should figure something out. They're going to be playing in empty stadiums and shit, but, you know, same thing with fucking basketball and shit. Like, I think it was LeBron James. He said, oh, no, I don't want to play to empty arenas because, you know, the fans or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I bet he regrets that now. I bet he's like, nah, you know what? It'd be kind of nice to be playing right now. And, you know, even if they are playing in empty stadiums and shit, arenas, I think that'd be good for the whole nation, you know, have some sort of somewhat normalcy or, you know, something, have something to fucking look at and do and act like life's somewhat normal still. So, you know, MLB, NBA, I think they need to have their seasons. I mean, have them in empty stadiums and arenas if they have to, which they do, but, you know, either fucking do that or don't play this whole season, because those are your two options. This is kind of unrelated, but NFL team owners vote to expand playoffs to 14 teams, so you're going to have 7 in each conference. I don't know if it's going to be this season or next or what. I don't even know what the fuck's going on with this season with the NFL. I'm a huge Bengals fan. That's why this channel is named Cincy 32. I made it in like 2006. Cincy is for the Cincinnati Bengals. 32 was for Rudy Johnson, their running back at the time. His number was 32. So, I've been going to Bengals home games. Even when I lived out of state, I've been going to their home games, flying back, going to their home games since 2003, every year. So I'm a huge Bengals fan. I'm not expecting an NFL season, and I think if we do have one, it's going to be played in empty stadiums. I hope, that's what happens as opposed to just canceling it, because Bengals sucked last year, but I am looking forward to this year. I mean, we got number 1 pick. We're going to have Joe Burrows. We did some fucking great free agent signings. We got rid of some fucking dead weight. And I think we're going to be a good team next year. But we'll see what happens. And then finally, last piece of news I want to go over here. And this is from The Onion, America's finest news source. ESPN execs, quote, "Fuck it, air the dogfighting." I thought that was hilarious. I had to put that in there. But that's all I got for today. I'll try to be a little bit more regular with the uploads, and I will try to get April 2nd's video up. Like I said, I fucked up on a technical thing, so I got to go back through it and redo like a shit ton of the editing. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, but I do want to get that video up. Had a lot of like editorial in there that I liked. So everyone, stay safe.
给力了，3M 的还有40个庄子了，哎呀，太开心了！拖着房车也不忘找口罩，好好摆还能多装点儿，耶，超开心，超开心！本来我们去就是一般找口罩都去那个卖油漆的那个地方找，然后我们去了另外一个地方找，然后就找到了，太开心了！还有呢，再去搬一下。在城市外面的人就是比较 nice。Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. You're so kind. 他们还不知道限购，赶紧买单走人。出汗了，吓的。满满的一车，这回都扫光了，这回真没了。哎，这能看着我的汗，老热了。紧张兮兮的，像做贼似的感觉。哎，这边的人还不知道，现在是我在佛罗里达的中部开了1个半小时，然后可能华人比较少，他们还不知道口罩的事儿呢。又一次成功结账，心里太舒服了。又来一车。帮妈妈装呢，卡车装不下了，只能移过来，跟着忙活呢。Oh, you find it? Yeah. 装满。耶，满满的一卡车，历史性的时刻。继续，还能有40多分钟到营地。